Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ultimate Coding Showdown. In the red corner, we have Milewski, the people-centric developer. Michael thrives on the human side of the software development. He loves pairing with the others, especially the newcomers to coding, and excels at driving software with tasks. When he's not coding, he enjoys camping with his 4 kids. And in the fresco corner, hailing from Melbourne, Australia, we have Selena Small, the full-stack lead engineer. Selena is a force to be reckoned with, combining her impressive skill as a full-stack lead engineer with her passion for test-driven development. She is also a neck-weighing professional kickboxer. Get ready for a clash of technical powers and mentoring abilities. Will Selena kickboxing spirit translate into knockout performance in Ruby, or will Michael's people-centric approach lead him to coach his way to victory? Stay tuned as the epic pairing showdown unfolds.
Hey everyone, I'm Selena, and this is my sparring partner Michael. We're here today to talk about our journey with Ruby and Kickboxer.
That's right, today we'll be exploring the state of MRuby, JRuby and CRuby.
Before we get into it, let's play a game. Who likes a game? Yeah, cool. Also, it'll help us get our breath back.
Who likes giveaways? Yeah, all right.
I don't know, it didn't sound like anyone wants a giveaway. Who likes giveaways? Yeah! All right, cool. We've got a prize to give away. All you have to do, really simple, post a tweet with the hashtag R. R?
I think it's in there. It's Kickboxer versus Ruby. So with this hashtag, Kickboxer versus Ruby, and in about 20 minutes, the best tweet will win a prize live on stage.
Yes, yes, yes. Cool. So maybe we should start with some background, getting into the talk, you know? I'm sure the audience is thinking to themselves, what's Kickboxer? Is it some kind of new tool or library? Good thought.
Yeah, you're probably right. So Selena here is a kickboxer, and I'm not sure if you remember, but a few years ago, a worldwide pandemic broke out. And in Melbourne, where we're from, we endured harsh lockdowns, which meant Selena couldn't train with her usual sparring partners. So she came up with this crazy idea to build a sparring robot using Ruby.
That's right. So a key part of training for combat sports is all about improving your footwork. So I thought, well, I could take a drill that I've been using at the gym with my coach and create a robot where pool noodles essentially strike the athlete. The athlete uses their footwork to swiftly evade. So I reached out to my friend Michael, who loves collaborating on projects and knows a bit about hardware too.
Yeah, I love an opportunity to work on hardware. So I immediately started thinking about the various moving parts and whether there would be any potential blockers. So let's break this down. We start with an actuator, which is going to be the hardware device that Selena will be training with. For this, we're going to use a motor or a servo and a simple microcontroller, a device like an Arduino, and we'll probably want to control it remotely, so we'll need Wi-Fi and for network connectivity as well. So an ESP32 is such a device. It's basically an Arduino with Wi-Fi, and that should fit the bill perfectly.
But can we run it in Ruby?
Quite likely. We can using MRuby, a lightweight implementation of Ruby that's designed specifically for embedded systems. It's perfect for running on devices like the actuator with limited resources.
That's right. And if we want to control it remotely, we're probably going to need some kind of server for the actuator to connect to.
But will that run Ruby?
Yeah, I think so. We'll probably use CRuby, also known as Ruby MRI. Maths is Ruby interpreter. Or we may refer to it just as plain old Ruby. This is a RubyConf after all. The server will receive data from the actuator and also communicate with a mobile device that Michael will be using to control the actuator.
For the mobile client, we have options of Android or iPhone.
But will we be able to run it in Ruby?
Android is a Java platform, and surely it can just run JRuby on it. And JRuby famously implements 98% of Ruby, so if we can write it in Ruby, it will run in JRuby, and JRuby is Java, so surely it will just run on Android.
So in the end, I'll be sparring with a pool noodle so I can practice my footwork. It's going to be such a cool project. I can't wait to see it all come together.
Me neither, especially since I'll be on the other end throwing the attacks at you with my mobile app.
All right. I think everyone understands the plan. So let's get started with the actuator.
Our first thought here was MRuby. Last year, right here in Thailand, we heard Yuji Yoku talk about building a Wordle game using MRuby C that ran off a Sega Mega Drive. And back in 2020 at RubyConf in Australia, Paul and Than presented a build your voice-based smart home using Sinatra and MRuby/C.
And not to mention PicoRuby RP 2040 is demoed by Toshi this morning, just hours ago, here at RubyConf Thailand.
Unfortunately, no Wi-Fi support in PicoRuby and RP 2040 at this time, so we had to give that one a miss.
So many possibilities though. We came across MRuby ESP32 application template, and a template sounded like it would be a quick start, but we soon found out that wasn't as simple as we thought it would be.
Yeah, it was quite the journey. We started out with the assumption that we could just ASDF MRuby and it would be installed on our device, but it turned out to be much more complicated than that.
We had to go through a number of steps, like copying C project files, MRuby source files, and MRuby components. And then we had to use and then we had to use ESP-IDF, which is the Expressive IoT Development Framework, which uses Python to compile the project. And then after all that, we could finally push our code to the ESP32. What a headache, right? Maybe we could contribute to PicoRuby and get that Wi-Fi support so we can spend more time coding Ruby, less time compiling C. Yeah! All right, let's take a look at a demo. Do we do this now?
ใครอยากดูสาธิต
No?
No? Do it again. Do you have the
In Thai?
translation?
I don't have the Thai one. Who wants to see a demo?
Did you play the Japanese one?
No. Okay. All right, what have we got first? Here, Arduino C implementation. So if I plug in this battery here, you get a flashing light. Ooh.
Right, but that's not Ruby, that's C. Do we have an MRuby version?
All right, let's do another one. Here, my hands are shaking. I don't know how you did this morning. All right. This is MRuby. Ooh.
Wow, that one is much brighter.
Well, I'm sure everyone's interested in the story, but can we look at some code?
Great idea. So on the left, we have some pretty straightforward ESP32C or Arduino C. We define a pin, we set the pin to an output, and in an infinite loop, we set the output to high for 1 second and for 1 second to low. And we repeat, and that's blink. How does this compare with MRuby, Selena?
I'm not sure because you took my mouse. Okay, cool. Well, with the MRuby, we could pretty much do the same thing, but with way less code. Well, 2 lines less code. But it's still less. Come on. Although it's very verbose and all the functionality is really just hidden away in other classes. This was enough to get a light flashing, but we had to do a little bit more to get it connected to a server so that we could remotely control it. Who wants to see another demo? Yes. Okay.
So I think you're plugging this in, and I'm driving. Oh, how do I? Oh, yeah, 3 fingers. Right. So in this case, we are going to fire up a client. And this client, and we'll get into the details of this later, but this client connects to a network we have here. And on that network, the devices that Selena is plugging in are registering. So we have one actuator, which is finishing in a C4.
C4.
And do we have the other actuator coming online?
We have a D4.
And
D4.
D4. Come on, D4. Register yourself. Oh, we've got both. Okay, so now what happens is we should be able to press enter and C4 should be flashing. So that is the actuator
Ooh.
there. All right. And now I can go down to D4 and now D4 is flashing. Cool. So we get the idea. We've got now connectivity from our devices to a network. And then I switch back to here and there. Right, I think that's there.
Oh, that's where we would say,
กรุณาตบมือ
just in case you didn't get that.
Please clap now.
Where are we up to? Great demo. Let's take a look at the code. On the right, we've got the MRuby code. It's about 1 page.
And on the left, we have the SP32 code. 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, 4 page. Whoa, that's a lot of code.
Yeah, it's as if the Ruby code was petite and easy to understand like me.
And the C code.
And the C code. He wanted to read this line. And the C code was big and clumsy like you. So what's going on under the covers?
We need to connect to the Wi-Fi, where we need to check that it's connected in the C code and if it works in the MRuby code.
Then we need to connect to the server via MDNS, multicast DNS. On the left in the C code, it needs a separate lookup. But on the right in the MRuby code, it just works with MQTT. And here we're looking at some of the code used to actually send a keep alive message every 5 seconds. Again, on the left in the C code, there's a lot more going on to copy data files into buffers just to concatenate strings.
And as you can see, the MRuby code is much more familiar to us Ruby developers and more accessible for more people being involved in writing code for IoT and hardware projects.
Onto the server. Every project needs a server, right?
And we all know how to use JRuby and servers like Rails or Rhoda. So we knew this was going to be a piece of cake.
Except that when we're dealing with an IoT device, which has limited capabilities, it needs to talk to a server that requires minimal communications. One such protocol is MQTT, Message Queuing Telemetry Transport.
That's right. MQTT is a message broker that allows messages to be passed between various systems in a publish-subscribe style. This would mean our client could talk to our actuator.
So we looked around on the web and found Eclipse Mosquito, which seemed to just work. It works so well, we didn't even need any server code.
No JRuby?
Nah. There's plenty of other talks here about JRuby at RubyConf, so we presume it's okay to just go with Mosquito and have no JRuby in our project. And that brings us to the mobile client using JRuby. We started off with the assumption it'll be super easy on mobile devices. Oh, but boy, were we in for a surprise.
Yeah, we thought it would just work, like we'd write some code, hit run, and voila. But it turns out building a mobile client with JRuby is not that straightforward.
We began writing the client in plain old JRuby, and it worked. Yeah, it listened to the MQTT server for actuators registering, and it allowed us to activate the actuators remotely as well. Remember this demo from before? You're going to run the demo?
Yeah, so this is that C implementation, that plain old Ruby implementation, just to kind of make it work.
Right. And so,
And in this case, we can see the Ruby version is Ruby 3.2.2, so it's running CRuby. It was a proof of concept which we saw that can fire off and talk to the actuators.
the arrows don't work.
Q.
No.
Oh, you quit. What did you want to do?
Well, I'm going to run the Ruby client. And then what I should be able to do once these actuators register is if I hit enter, you can see the light flashing on the left. And if I use the arrow keys to move right, the arrow keys don't work.
Up and down?
Oh, A?
Or
A?
J and
No.
K?
No, that's the Ruby. That's the JRuby.
No, they work in both.
Oh, does it? There we go. Okay, hit the right. And so now the light on the right. If I go K, left. J, right. Yeah? Woo! So that's with Ruby 3.2.2. But we really wanted to build the mobile client with JRuby, since this presentation is about the state of all the Rubies, you know? So we thought we could just switch the example code over to JRuby.
But did it just work?
Well, with a few tweaks and changes in the libraries we used, we did manage to get a version running with JRuby. So if I now...
Left.
No. Oh, okay. Right. So if we exit that and we run JRuby, start up the client again, you can see in the top, this is running JRuby 3.1.4. And so here, this is JRuby now running on our actuators. And if I hit enter, no, A, the right is flashing. Woo! And if I move to the other side, we get the right again. I'm going the wrong way. I don't know what's happening. There we go. Now we get the left.
So as was demonstrated there, the code mostly worked, but with a few little inconveniences, we had to kind of deal with the way the terminal kind of app worked. But in general, the JRuby worked at this point in time.
But there was a client on a laptop, not exactly the mobile device we were looking for, but we heard about another option, Roboto.
That's right. It was recommended to us at RubyConf Thailand last year. We were excited to try it out, but when we went to the website, the site was down. Actually, if you go to the site now, it's also down.
Didn't stop us though. We did reach out to Charles, one of the contributors, and soon enough, the site was back up and running. We kind of need to speed up, so maybe we can just run through these, get to the demo, because I'm sure you all want to see the robot. Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you want to speak? Go. All the things we tried. Let's go. Roboto. Didn't work. Ruby Motion. Didn't work.
And it was MRuby, not JRuby.
Yeah. Dragon Ruby. Didn't work. ISH. Didn't work.
No, ISH
Oh no,
did
ISH.
work. Hang on, we'll do one quick demo before the main demo, and that is here. So this is actually an iPhone, and a friend of mine said, well, if you're going to run something and you can't get an app running, why don't you just use a terminal emulator? So ISH is exactly that. It's a terminal emulator. If I up arrow and up arrow again, I change directory into our right thing, and up arrow, and I'm here running Ruby, not JRuby. Press return, waiting. And this is running Ruby 2.7.8. That's the only version on that emulator. And if I press A,
Right.
have we got a
No.
C4?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Right, so again, it has a few terminal issues where I have to press enter, etc. But we actually got it working, Ruby working, talking across the network to our actuators in an iPhone.
That's pretty cool. All right. What else do we do?
Well, but ISH is not an app, right? So we tried lots of things there.
Calm down.
Okay.
What else did we try? Rubyist didn't work.
Rubyist is an app that you can download and run Ruby, actually 3.2.2,
That's cool.
on your iPhone as well, but it's not an actual app. So that didn't work. What was
Termux
next?
didn't work.
Well, it did. So Termux is an emulator on an Android phone, and actually the same version worked, and I think did it work with JRuby? No, JRuby crashed.
No JRuby.
No JRuby, and we wanted the state of the Ruby.
We wanted all the rubies. All right, what else? Raspberry Pi.
Well, we thought if we can't run it on a phone, why don't we create our own device? But that was going too far.
So much work. Then we went back to a Roboto and Arduino.
We went back to Ruboto, and we actually went to a conference where Charles Nutter kind of gave us a few more hints and said, well, actually, if you try this and that, you'll be able to run some Ruby in the client. And it was kind of very similar to the terminal kind of example, but it wasn't perfect. Until what happened the day before our presentation at RubyConfTH?
Oh, like an hour before, he finally gave us like a hint that put the project together. Finally.
And that is what we're going to do now. But, we're going to do this giveaway. No, let's do the demo and then we'll do the giveaway.
We're going to do a demo, then we're going to do a giveaway. Don't forget about the giveaway. You need a tweet from that slide earlier, Kickboxer versus Ruby. Get a good picture, best picture wins.
All right, so we're going to give us a sec to set up.
Who wants to see a robot? Are you ready? Good one. Just plug it in.
So as Selena gets her gloves on, hopefully you've got that URL you're about to tweet. This is the actual app. So this is an actual Android phone. I'm going to bring that up. We should see this now connect. And we've got a Kickboxer app. We press the button, we start that off, and it finds our two actuators. So if I press 74, that's that one. F4 is that one. But of course we said live size, so we just bring in live size. All right. Hang on. Yeah, you good? You good? You good? All right. This is where I get to boxing. Let's go. Come on. This is a great spot to get some video footage, right? Please clap. Woo!
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the winner in this thrilling code showdown. After all, it was Ruby, the programming language of choice, that prevailed. Give it up for Michael and Selena again.
What are we doing with this short Yeah. So Selena, as the next speaker sets up, Selena's just going to find the winning tweet to give those prizes away, but whoever's the next speaker can probably bring their laptop up.
We're going to throw this stuff away. Oh my God. So many good tweets. Oh, this is by far the best one. Tevin Raj. Is it at Tevin Raj? Tevanraj. Woo! Come on up. In case you're wondering, he got the knockout shot of Michael lying on the ground at the beginning. Winner.